What up, YouTube? How is everybody doing? I hope everybody is doing well. I'm doing okay. Can't really complain. It don't make no sense to complain because shit is what it is, right? Hold on a moment because I want a snack. Ugh. It is what it is. And we can't get around life. That's for sure. And life been life and kicking my ass. I hope y'all doing better than I am. But God is still in control. What about that part? So we about to get on to this redistricting, the war between Texas and Cali, because they going at it. I thought that would be kind of good to do. And I'm gonna do some. Damn, I should do a short. Hmm, maybe so. You know what? I ain't looked at my channel. How's my channel doing? Shout out to my new subscribers. I really, really appreciate you guys. For real, for real. 333. That's a man. Danye! Hold on, y'all. I want to show. Danye! Come here for a minute. While I'm live, I want to ask you a question. Hey, I got 400 views on the 21 Savage. That was a short video, too. But when I do the real stuff, don't nobody care. I want to ask you about these numbers. Hurry up. Dang, my Kevin Gates did 526. So y'all do like some of the stuff. Is that a cat outside? Hold on, y'all. Let me mute. I be forgetting about the mute. I want him to explain this number to you. Look at this. Look at how many subscribers I got.
Dang.
What that? What? It's 333. What it mean? You ain't got to get in the camera. You can stay right there.
333. Well, first I know that's an angel number.
Yep, angel number.
Three is the number of wanting to be liked. So it's actually a good number. Three is a very, I guess you would say, special number. Three is the number of criminals. So anybody that's born on the third, they usually get away with criminals or
Mm.
crimes. Three is the letter of what else? If you're a life path three or born on the three, you want to be liked. You want people to like you. What else do I know about three? I said three is criminal. Three is life. That's all I know about three.
All right, thank you. That's all I wanted. You could talk about numbers, life path numbers. There's a lot of stuff you could do. All right, y'all. So let's get into it. The war between Texas and Cali, the redistricting war. Let's get into it. My son always told me to go to AI first. AI taking over. Ain't gonna be no more jobs. A mid decade redistricting war has begun, kicked off by Texas Republicans and countered by California Democrats. And remember when all the Texas Democrats fled and they went to Chicago, Cali, and New York? I thought that was the dumbest mess ever. You're going to leave your position because you're going to lose. That was dumb. I thought that was the weakest move ever. I mean, you're going to lose anyway, so you vote no. You don't pack up your bags and go to another state to stop it because eventually you got to come back and face the music. Now you got all these fines, and most people I know if you was over my district, I'm voting your black ass out or white. I should say color. I'm voting you out. Period. You too weak. You followed the crowd and you lost anyway. Dumb. Well, that's how I feel about them. But anyway, in August 2025, Republicans in the Texas legislature drew new congressional maps aiming to gain up to 5 seats, prompting California Democrats to pass legislation to place a countermeasure on the state's November ballot. They gonna vote that mess down. The new map was finalized. The GOP led Texas legislature passed a new congressional map in August 2025, and Governor Gray Abbott signed it into law. This redistricting is highly unusual because it's happening mid decade rather than the, that's the after the 10 years. That's what it is. Every 10 years they do it. It was reportedly spurred by requests from former President Donald Trump to bolster. Why they say from former President Donald Trump? What is AI saying? Because he's still the president, to bolster control of the U.S. House of Representatives. Y'all saying something, AI? Y'all telling us something we don't know? The new map is projected to create 5 additional districts that will favor Republican candidates. Federal lawsuits have been filed against the new maps, with opponents alleging violations of the Federal Voting Rights Act. During a special legislative session to pass maps, Texas Democrats briefly fled the state in an unsuccessful attempt to stop the quorum. That was so dumb and so weak. What kind of leader are you to run? Now, in August 2025, California Democrats and Governor Gavin Newsom, crook, awful. Because just came out, George Soros donated $10 million to his campaign. George Soros, straight up Illuminati. He's an Illuminati puppet. Passed legislate placing Proposition 50 on the November 4th, 2025 special election ballot. If passed, Proposition 50 would temporarily override California's independent redistricting commission, which was created by the voters by a 2008 ballot measure. This would allow the state legislature to approve new congressional maps by the Democrats. The proposed California map is designed to create 5 new Democrat leaning congressional seats and shore up 4 vulnerable Democratic incumbents, directly retaliating against the Texas redistricting. But then you got Missouri that came in the air talking about they gonna do it. So it's just a war all around the country. Proponents of Proposition 50, including Newsom, are framing the measure as a way to stop Trump, focusing on partisan messaging to appeal to voters. I don't know how anything you say could appeal to them because the way you have destroyed California, you is shameful. The Yes campaign has received large donations, including 10 million from George Soros. I told y'all. Opponents, including former Republican Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger and original ballot measure backer Charles Munger, argue the measure is a partisan attack on democracy. The conflict has garnered national attention and influenced congressional legislation. California Senator Alex Padilla has introduced a bill to ban mid-decade redistricting and require independent commissions nationwide. Why California and Texas are at the center of a redistricting battle. Lawmakers in Cali and Texas, the two most populous U.S. states that together contain more than 70 million Americans, are at the center of a battle. After Texas passed a redistricting measure that would create five, okay, we said all that. Now, I told you Missouri was on it. Missouri didn't get into action with the governor ordering a special session to begin so lawmakers could work towards redrawing a new map designed to add one more Republican seat. The political arms race for power may seem both bizarre and confusing, but it is one that is rapidly spreading to other states in advance of next year's national midterm elections. Missouri is the third state to join the fight, which comes from President Donald Trump called on loyal state houses across the country to carve up their districts in order to maintain political full Republican control of Congress after the November election. What is redistricting? The U.S. House of Representatives is made of 435 legislators who are elected every 2 years. I didn't realize. I thought they was elected every, so they re-elected every two. Wow. They represent districts with boundaries determined and processed set by state governments. Some states have nonpartisan independent commissions which determine districts, while others leave it up to the state legislature. Who draws the line and how can you go a long way in shaping the ideological tilt of the district and likelihood that it elects Democrat or Republican. At the moment, the House rests on a nice edge with Democrats only needing to seize three more seats to flip it blue. If Democrats seize the House, they can launch sweeping investigations of presidential actions, as Democrats did in the second term of Trump's first term, of Republicans did to Joe Biden's final 2 years. Now, redistricting could have significant implications in the 2026 midterms has become an urgent issue for state lawmakers. Illinois, New York, New Jersey, New Hampshire, and Maryland are among the Democratic led states prepared to launch countermeasures to the Texas plan. Indiana, Florida, and Ohio are also now looking into redistricting in order to boost Republican representation in Washington. Missouri will hold a special election on September 3rd. Governor of Missouri said the new map will ensure our districts and constitution truly put Missouri first. California Gavin Newsom, whose state is leading the Democratic charge, has pledged to fight fire with fire. He's so weak. But the process in California is slow due to the 2008 law designed to make the process less partisan. All right. The Utah judge ruled that lawmakers has had disregarded a rule passed by voters that bans politicians from favoring or disfavoring incumbent elected officials or from considering partisan political information when drawing their maps. The move is expected to end up favoring Democrats in Salt Lake City. New York wants to enter the fray, but they are in a process that takes even longer as the state constitution would need to be changed. In New York will confront Trump's legal insurrection head on. Kathy Hochul. She another weak, stupid. I can't even believe y'all voted for her dumb ass. All right. Now let me see. Now let me get to mine. Texas Democrats in redistricting walkout after California Democrats move forward with plans to withdraw their map. Who do my son be talking to? Texas Democrats say they are ending a 2 week walkout. Like I said earlier, that was dumb as hell. They said they will return to for a after seeing California Democratic leaders proceed with plans to redraw their own U.S. House maps. The nation's two most populous states have been at the forefront of the fight. Let me see, and I'm going to go ahead and skip all this. The redrawing began in Texas but has been stalled since dozens of Democrats who are the minority in each chamber left the state. They left on August 3rd for damn near a month. Abbott put redistricting on the agenda at the urging of Donald Trump, who wants to shore up Republicans' uh, support. Okay, we already talked about that. We already talked about that. Now I didn't know this. Several Republican governors of states with GOP majorities in their respective legislature are heeding President Donald Trump's call to redraw their congressional districts just 5 years after the U.S. Census. However, at least one of these Republican states won't be joining them. Politico reported Friday that New Hampshire Governor Kelly Iota rejected Trump's push to squeeze more Republican seats out of deep red states, even though she has slim Republican majorities in both chambers. She told Manchester, New Hampshire based ABC affiliate, the timing is off for this because we are literally in the middle of the census period. And when I talk to people in New Hampshire, it's not on the top of their priority list. Hmm. Even though New Hampshire has a Republican trifecta state government, its congressional delegation consists entirely of Democrats. Wow. Other Republican states, Florida, Missouri, Nebraska, and Ohio, have already proposed drawing new maps. Democratic one states, California, New York, Illinois, and Maryland, are entertaining the same idea. And where's okay? All right, let's. We. I guess I'll get into some video. We're gonna go to the videos. Let me go to my notes. I'm so glad my son got me, told me how I can go straight to my videos. Okay, here we go. We're going to do the oldest ones first. Damn, I got a lot of videos. Okay, let's get
Let's
into
talk
it.
about Texas. In this video, we got Will Kane of Fox interviewing one of these Texas
Hold on.
Democrats. And I mean, this is an amazing video. I only caught a few minutes of it at the end, but this is great, man. This chick is not ready for this interview, and Will Kane asks her some really good questions. So hit that like button if you guys are enjoying the show. Don't forget to subscribe. Join the Daily Discourse family for free simply by subscribing. And we are live 8 p.m. Central,
Let me start
Monday through
streaming with
Friday,
you.
every weeknight. Let's get it, man.
To the Texas redistricting battle. Democrats who've fled have until tomorrow to return to the state after
Now,
leaving
Let me
to
do a
prevent a vote
segment on
on
your
congressional redistricting. And now the feds are getting
on your
involved.
show.
Texas Senator John Cornyn saying in a statement
what's
today,
up?
quote, "I'm proud to announce that Director Kash Patel has approved my request for the FBI to assist state and local
Okay.
law enforcement in
I can
locating
do YB
runaway
reaction.
Texas House Democrats." So let's talk to one of those Democrats who is not in the state of Texas, and that is State Representative Mahala Plisa. Representative, thank you for being with us here today. I'd love to start here. You know the deadline is tomorrow, 1 o'clock. Will you return to Texas? Nope.
I will not return to Texas by tomorrow. This is much bigger than Texas. This is about the entire nation, and I'm so happy to be here with you tonight and to talk about what's going on in Texas and how it's going to affect all Americans.
I totally agree. This is not a local story. This is a national story. But I do have to ask you, you have essentially abdicated your job. You're running away from the state of Texas to deny a quorum to vote. Why not just stay there and vote no if you disagree with
right, just vote no. Right.
You have run away from your job.
So I haven't run away from my job.
Yes, you did.
I know that that's the narrative that's been put out there. I haven't abdicated my duties. I'm still very much present. I'm having meetings. I just had a meeting with the State Employees Union yesterday. My district is still out meeting with City Council, attending events. So it's been 4 days. It's not an abdication.
You see, the Democrats can't do anything but lie, but she's just not a good liar. She's just not a good liar at all. Yes, B. Brown, the glasses say it all. Glasses say it all, but she is just a really, really bad liar, man.
I'm telling
The
you.
job. Who's abdicated their job is Governor Abbott, who has put mid-decade redistricting ahead of the flood victims that really should be our priority.
Well, I mean, I believe that's on your agenda as well, to update warning systems and provide funding for the Texas flood victims. But that also is incapable of being voted upon because of your and many other Democrats' absence. So I don't understand how it's Governor Abbott's fault.
Come on.
Not taking place when you're the one.
Come on. Oh,
not
I
in
got to
Texas.
go back on that one. That's right.
My district is still out meeting with City Council, attending events. So it's been 4 days. It's not an abdication.
You see, the Democrats can't do anything but lie, but she's just not a good liar. She's just not a good liar at all. Yes, B. Brown, the glasses say it all. Glasses say it all, but she is just a really, really bad liar, man.
Of the job. Who's abdicated their job is Governor Abbott, who has put mid-decade redistricting ahead of the flood victims that really should be our priority.
Well, I mean, I believe that's on your agenda as well, to update warning systems and provide funding for the Texas flood victims. But that also is incapable of being voted upon because of your and many other Democrats' absence. So I don't understand how it's Governor Abbott's fault.
Right.
It's not taking place when you're
Facts.
not in Texas.
Facts.
Unfortunately, Republicans in the Texas House
Hold on. He hit her with a great question. He said, hey, if this really matters to you, why don't you go back and vote on it and do your job?
Facts.
But the Republicans, Donald Trump, it's all Donald Trump and Republicans. Okay, we got it.
Place when you're the one not in Texas.
Unfortunately, Republicans in the Texas House have shown that their priority has been redistricting. If you look, even today, they put redistricting hearings before flood victims on the agenda. Anybody can go to the Texas Senate website and look at the floor calendar there. And so when you look and see that there have been 9 hearings on redistricting and only 2 or 3 on flooding,
the order of business is the privilege of the majority. You brought up that you've only been gone for 4 days and you don't consider that an abdication of your job. Okay, when will you return? When will you take these votes?
I am willing to take votes when Republicans are showing that they're not doing the bidding of Donald Trump and that they're focused on Texans and Texas voters. We had hundreds of people come out to testify against these maps, thousands of emails sent to our offices.
I'm sorry, ma'am, but only one party seems to hate our country so much.
Facts. I agree. If this ain't the dumbest shit ever.
Texas Democrats must return to the Lone Star State today or face serious consequences after they fled to boycott the redistricting vote. But some Democrats say they won't budge.
All right. Texas is in a very interesting position. All of those Democrats that fled the state of Texas, well, none of them came back.
AG Paxton, will we see Texas Democrat lawmakers in handcuffs by the end of today?
I don't know. We're definitely waiting to see if they show up.
Again, nobody showed up, so now we are at a very interesting
This
standstill.
is T Sply. I like his channel. I forgot to shout out the other one. I will.
So in this video, we're going to cover all of the most recent events surrounding these Democrats fleeing Texas. Now, before we start the video, make sure to please like this video. It's the #1 way you guys are helping this channel, but it also helps others see the videos as well. And I think people want to see what's going on with these Texas Democrats.
Safeguard taxpayer dollars and account for forthcoming liabilities under Rule 5, Section 3 of House Rules, which authorizes fines for members absent without leave, personal action requests, including those increasing or decreasing staff salaries, approval for newsletters and House of Reproduction Services.
That's right, you heard that correctly. Texas is now going after the newsletters belonging to these Democrats. Basically, it looks like Republicans are just going after every single little thing that Democrats have
as they should,
in order for them to come back to Texas.
Hey guys, Brian Harrison here. Friday, it is day number 5 officially of the Democrat quorum break. But with the full assistance of the so-called Republican leadership of the Texas House, not only is it just another day of quorum break without the Democrats, it's another day with absolutely no real consequences. A bunch of fake hot air, theater, bad drama, but nothing that actually shows the Democrats or anybody in Texas or anywhere across America that the elected Republican leadership is serious. There have been no arrests, no seats vacated, no charges filed, no committee stripped, no seniority removed. This is a joke.
So this is the part that's confusing a lot of people, especially Republicans and conservatives. You're hearing about the FBI, you're hearing about these warrants. Even Greg Abbott was going on TV saying, we have the police ready to go. They're on standby to conduct these arrests. However, nothing, literally nothing has been done.
Facts.
This is an updated video on
Facts. Well, they did get fined, and maybe I'll find that. Now, this California, here go, oh, shoot, I got earlier videos. Oh, shit, let me see.
House Democrats are leaving the state to deny quorum as Republicans push to redraw voting maps. As we reported, the legislation being pushed calls for redrawing 37 of the state's 38 congressional districts, with changes primarily focused on 5 districts drawn for partisan Republican advantage. President Donald Trump previously called for Texas leaders to redraw maps to gain 5 Republican seats in the 2026 elections. Yesterday, House Republicans in committee advanced the bill, and it was a 12-6 vote along party lines. The dramatic move Sunday could expose Democrats to fines and other penalties. Democrats argue that the redistricting suppresses Hispanic and Black votes. A vote was scheduled on the new map as early as tomorrow.
And in a way, I have to say it does. And I'm going to say that because Jasmine Crockett will be out. I can't stand her for her to act so ghetto. And she lived a very privileged life. She went to private school all her life. She went to a private college. Listen, and she's an embarrassment. It does push them out. And Representative Al Green, I don't like him either. He bought and paid for their districts will be redrawn, and they probably will lose their seats, which I'm happy about.
They are indeed. It's a plane load of Texas Democratic lawmakers. In fact, they're still on the tarmac in Austin. We have a live picture of the plane sitting there, getting ready to take off very shortly. They are heading to Chicago. Some claim that they're escaping Texas right now because they are trying to prevent the state legislature there from having a quorum, enough lawmakers to be able to vote on a redistricting plan. They say that it is being forwarded by President Trump, will increase the number of Republican districts in that state by 5. Now, the group boarded that plane about an hour ago. And
which is the dumbest shit I have ever heard of. You running away instead of just voting no. That's the weakest shit I've ever heard of.
I'll turn it over to our House Democratic leader, Hakeem Jeffries.
He another black boule.
Good morning. It's an honor and a privilege to be here in the great state of Texas at the state capitol with so many distinguished leaders, members of the congressional delegation, of course, Lizzie and Lloyd, Al, Sylvia, Joaquin, and Greg, tremendous fighters for the people of this great state, along with such distinguished leaders in the state legislature, of course, led by Leader Wu and Leader Romero, and all of the different caucus leaders who are here with us today. Our message to the people of Texas and to the people of this great country is simple. You deserve better. You deserve in America.
No, we deserve better from you who push illegals over American citizens. No, we deserve better black leaders who are focused on black folk, not illegals. And that's your problem.
Hard work pays off. You deserve health care that's affordable and available when you need it.
That don't have shit to do with redistricting. There go the bullshit right there. Let me let that play. There go the bullshit.
You deserve a government that works for you. You deserve better. But that's not what is being delivered right now by the Texas state government.
It ain't being delivered by y'all at all.
Donald Trump ordered Governor Greg Abbott and Texas Republicans to race back to Austin for a special legislative session. Why was that done? This special session should be about lowering the high cost of living that afflicts the people of Texas as well as people all across America. It is not.
Bullshit. Another lie.
Should be about
That's another lie.
Texas's broken healthcare system, where far too many children, women, seniors, and veterans don't have access to the health care that they need, to live a life
You go from changing the map to healthcare. Make that shit make sense. Bullshit.
of dignity and respect? It is not. This special session should be about cleaning up corruption here in Austin, so that a government that has been dominated by Republicans for the last 30 years might actually deliver for the people of this great state. It is not.
Well, I can tell you one thing, the cost of living down there is Texas. You get more bang for your buck than in these Democratic run states, and that's a fact. That's another lie, Hakeem Black Boule puppet.
This special session should be about fixing the broken energy grid that has left millions of Texans vulnerable year after year after year, particularly in the face of rising extreme weather events. It is not. In the face of great tragedy.
Now, what does that have to do with redistricting if there's a high weather, hurricane, floods, or whatever? You comparing apples to oranges. I can't stand him. I don't like him either.
Who drowned to death in the Texas Hill Country. Families whose lives have been shattered forever. This special session should be about relief, recovery, and resiliency in the face of a state government that failed the people of the Texas Hill Country. But it is not.
I have to.
Donald Trump.
That was part two after redistricting. They were dealing with the flood. I have to agree with him on that, even though I can't stand his Black Boule ass.
Greg Abbott and compliant Texas Republicans to race back to Austin, have a special session in order to rig the congressional map and undermine the ability of Texans to have a free and fair midterm election. That is wrong. You deserve better. The people of Texas deserve better. That's why I'm so thankful for the leadership of the members of the Texas congressional delegation and the Texas state legislature, who aren't fighting for themselves, unlike the other side of the aisle. They're fighting.
Bullshit. They've been fighting for illegals. That's what you've been fighting for. Here go this other Black Bull. I can't stand her ghetto. Oh, she's an embarrassment.
Those are the numbers. President Trump did win the majority of the Hispanic votes in the state. In fact, he flipped, I believe it was 10 counties in the state. So don't you think that is reflective of this map, this proposed map, that the minorities who are here with the new minority districts that have been created, it is reflective?
No, Representative, I don't. Again, It's just based upon, this is just pure math. Like, I'm not trying to pick who is going to vote for who, because as it was stated earlier, the idea that anybody is a monolith is wild anyway, right? Because first of all, Latinos down at the border, they are not the same as Latinos, say, in the DFW or in Harris County. So I don't want to pretend as if any minority group is a monolith, which is one of the reasons that we talk about communities of common interest, because we work together and we function together and we do things a little differently. I'm sure there are even Black folk in Houston that will argue that they're not the same as Dallas Black people, right? So it's an ongoing thing. But nevertheless, what I will say is that is why you shouldn't just be grabbing up people from wherever and saying, oh, well, they all the same race. It is bigger than that. It is trying to make sure, and you brought up compactness earlier. And so compactness is one of those things that you consider as well, because again, it is different. When you look at a state the size of Texas, you know how many states you can fit in our state, right? So thinking about it in that way, a reflective map would look like the fact that only 39% of this state is Anglo. So how in the heck do we have 60% of the seats that go to DC are going to be decided by Anglos? That's the math that doesn't work. We need to flip the numbers so that people of color, no matter who they vote for, if they decide they're voting for Trump, and you're right, because of the 13 democratically elected seats in the state of Texas, one of those seats was a majority white seat. That's it. Everybody else, it was people of color that sent us to DC. But when we look at the Republicans, of the 25 seats, 23
And I know they embarrassed because I was.
Majority seats. 2 of those seats, Latinos are the ones that chose. And I don't have a beef with that. Like, that's who they elected, and that is perfectly fine. So they have 2 Anglo seats that are Republican. 2 Latino opportunity seats that elected Republicans. That is perfectly fine. People vote for who they vote for, but don't divide our communities and dilute our voices. And that's why we're here, because we feel like we're being diluted because we're packing Black folk, or
as you should. As you should with your dumb ass. Embarrassment.
We're not here to have fun. We're not here because this is easy, and we did not make the decision to come here today. We did not make a decision lightly. But we come here today with absolute moral clarity that this is absolutely the right thing to do to protect the people of the state of Texas. For the last few weeks, Texas families have been burying their loved ones who were killed in the very preventable tragedy that occurred in Central Texas. Over 100 Texans died, many of them very young souls. And all Texans across the state have asked for is that the legislature focus and spend its time taking care of the families who are grieving and helping the communities who are recovering to accomplish their goals. Instead, Governor Abbott has used this tragedy.
Watch what magnesium does to your bowels.
If you have to wipe more than 4 times after you poop, here's why.
The Mayo Clinic confirms that stuck poop can cause these embarrassing skid marks in your undies. You see, when stuck poop causes a traffic jam.
No, we don't want to talk about our undies.
Taking these
We don't want
families
to
who are
talk about
grieving,
that.
taking these communities who are struggling to recover, and use them as hostages in a political game.
No, you did that when you fled. No, you need to take responsibility because you did that when you fled. You held them as hostages. You was gone for a month. You did that.
And this just in, Texas Democrats are leaving the state in an attempt to prevent the State House from holding a vote tomorrow on new congressional maps.
A few moments later.
This is paralegal.
And we're back, y'all. Thank you for watching.
I like
today.
him.
Go ahead and hit that like button, my people.
Yeah, hit the like button.
And of course, it helps you because it helps us. Helps us keep bringing you these stories.
Yeah, stay in the algorithm.
Gina Hinoso hinted that the act of resistance may be worth it, even in the end. We broke quorum in 2020.
How was it when you still was gonna lose the vote? You still was gonna vote on if you stayed away 2 years, it was gonna still be on there. And you still was gonna lose. All you had to do was vote no. That's it. You running away like a coward. A coward. That's what you all were. To me, a coward.
One, to try to get the John Lewis Voting Rights Act passed, which you referred to earlier in the program. And so in Texas, we fight to win. And I think if you watch, you'll see the same. Joining us now, Democratic Texas State Representative Christian Manuel. Representative Manuel,
Will we seek Democrats break quorum and leave the state in order to avoid a vote on redistricting? Do you think lawmakers, yourself included, are prepared to face this $500 per day fine and potentially threats of arrest?
Absolutely. Nothing is off the table for us right now. We know that we're in extreme situations where Republicans are trying to force our hand by doing any and everything. So we are looking to do everything that we possibly can. Nothing is off the table. We are trying to do everything.
Nothing is off the table when you are a minority and you're going to lose anyway. It was dumb and it was cowardly. Facts. Then they said they was going to strip them of their
They are
seats.
heading to Chicago. Some claim that they're escaping Texas right now because they are trying to prevent the
This
state
is
legislature there
paralegal.
from having a quorum, enough lawmakers to be able to vote on a redistricting plan. They say that it is being forwarded by President Trump.
A few moments later.
This truancy ends now. The derelict Democrat House members must return to Texas and be in attendance when the House reconvenes at 3:00 p.m. on Monday, August 4th, 2025. For any member who fails to do so, I will invoke Texas Attorney General Opinion number KP-0382 to remove the missing Democrat from membership in the Texas House. And we're back, y'all. Thank you for watching.
And they was fine. They wasn't removed, however, but they was fine, each one. And guess what? They only make $700 and something a month for being a representative in the state of Texas. I'm like, how the hell you live off $700 and something a month? And so they was each fined like $10,000 something. This Greg Abbott, he don't play.
This morning, Texas Governor Greg Abbott threatening to remove Democratic state lawmakers from office if they don't return to the state capitol this afternoon. Video shared on social media shows dozens of Democratic lawmakers leaving the state to delay a controversial Republican-led push supported by President Trump to redraw the congressional map in cities including Austin, Houston, and Dallas. The Texas Attorney General has said lawmakers could be arrested.
The House rules and the Senate rules both allow for these people to be arrested if they leave.
The proposed map could shift 5 congressional seats to Republicans.
We know that. We ain't got to say that. Now here go the devil, Newsom.
Republicans in Texas yesterday released
This
the first
is
draft
Morning
of the congressional
Joe.
map aimed at picking up 5
MSNBC.
seats in next year's midterms. Texas Governor Greg Abbott added redistricting to the special session agenda at the urging of President Trump and his political team. Republicans currently control 25 of the 38 congressional districts in Texas. Under the new maps, the President Trump would have carried 30 of 38 seats, all by more than 10 points. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries is in Texas meeting with Democrats.
Oh yeah, we showed that, so I'm just gonna delete that. Yeah, we just gonna delete that. We don't need to hear him at all. Not again. Oh shit! You know what?
Republicans in Texas
Let me get back to
uniquely what's best for us as a party, what's best for me for my reelection race, what's best for me in order to avoid a primary. And Dave Weigel, the idea of this going forward in such a public way, I mean, they're not trying to hide anything. What role will the courts play, and when will the courts play it, if they play a role at all?
Well, Democrats have the option of suing with the maps are put into effect. They would argue that because this map is going to delete some majority-minority seats, that it's a violation of the Voting Rights Act. But look at the courts in Texas. Look where this would go. It would get
nowhere. It would go nowhere.
Fifth Circuit. You're not likely to find a panel of judges who will agree with them.
Facts.
There is a risk that gets kicked up to a 6-3 SCOTUS that says, actually, we've read the Voting Rights Act again and don't think that you need majority-minority districts. Now, there are Democrats, Ruben Gallego in Arizona is one of them, who say it's time to just give up on the majority-minority district idea altogether because Democrats should be in the business of maximizing how many seats they can win. to go back to 1992, the first time that the South was redrawn, where there were more safe black districts, Democrats lost some seats because there were safe seats in places like Birmingham, like Tallahassee, or I should say like Jacksonville, and then they were redrawn away from more competitors. And the question is, do you want legislature?
Yeah, and John Heilman, just so those that haven't followed this closely understand exactly the consequences of this. Well, take a look at Wisconsin, which after the 2010 election started gerrymandering their districts in Wisconsin.
I think I'm gonna get. Oh, that's 8, 9. We're gonna get Cali in here. I guess Cali gonna be part 2. 8, 8. Yep, it's gonna be oh, I got a shitload of videos. Yeah, it's gonna be a part 2. Always gonna be a part 2. Where was I at? That's 8, 9, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10.
I will immediately sign the warrants for the civil arrest of the members who have said they will not be here. As Speaker, I will do everything in my power to establish a quorum and move this body forward by any and all means available to this office.
A few moments later.
There is no felony in the Texas Penal Code for what he says. So respectfully, he's making up some shit. Okay?
And we're back, y'all. Thank you for watching today.
That's pretty illegal.
That like button, not difficult. They all got together and
President speaks volumes. You understand that the issues before us, disaster recovery, fighting for the families who lost loved ones in the floods, human trafficking, and more, are not abstract policy debates. They are real-world problems demanding immediate solutions. But instead of confronting those challenges, some of our colleagues have fled the state in their duty. They've left the state, abandoned their posts, and turned their backs on the constituents they swore to represent. They've shirked their responsibilities under the direction and pressure of out-of-state politicians and activists who don't know the first thing about what's right for Texas.
Facts.
To be absolutely clear, leaving the state does not stop this House from doing its work. It only delays it. And every day this chamber is unable to act, the cost grows. In response to this dereliction of duty, and pursuant to the rules of the House, I am prepared to recognize a motion to place a call on the House and any other motions necessary to compel the return of absent members. Should such a motion prevail, I will immediately sign the warrants for the civil arrest of the members who have said they...
Well, that didn't happen either. They weren't arrested. I guess when I do part 2, I'm going to show California side. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Because it will be a part. Well, you know what? I'm going to start showing it now. What's that? 8. Oh, yeah, because this one, they put the FBI. Oh, shit. Hold on.
He's wondering why Democrats think they're Bonnie and Clyde, but the only problem? Their Tommy guns are loaded with women.
Senator John Cornyn says the FBI agreed to help find the Texas Democrats who fled the state in protest of redistricting efforts. Cornyn sent a request earlier this week asking the FBI to help locate the absent Democrats and investigate potential offenses. State Republicans are looking to redraw congressional maps to add 5 new GOP-leaning seats before the midterms. Democrats are denying Republicans the quorum they need.
So then they invoked the FBI. Yep, it's gonna be probably be a part 2, and oh yeah, it's gonna be a part 2 and 3. All right, well, you know what? I might as well just do one more. Here go the devil
In
right
today's
here.
video, Gavin Newsom is
This
dealt
is
another legal
Delroy
blow
Darkins.
as Texas sues the governor and strategy and try to figure out if they're really going to get the results they're looking for. Should even be doing this in times in the past, and Democrats will cry all about why President Trump is doing what he.
Okay, I'm not going to show this video. I'm going to go ahead and delete this. Yeah, I'm going
And
to
that
delete
is, he
that.
does not want to surrender any land.
He's wondering why Democrats think they're Bonnie
This
and
is
Clyde.
Melanie.
The only problem? Their Tommy guns are loaded with
Oh, I just showed that, so I'm
bullets.
about to let that go. Oh, yeah, if I just showed that, so we can delete that. Cool. Alrighty then, we moving right along.
We got some big news, ladies
This
and gentlemen.
is Live
from
Nation.
Texas.
I love
The
him.
judge just ruled in favor of Ken Paxton, and you won't believe what's actually happening out there. With Gavin Newsom and J.B. Pritzker taking responsibilities for the runaway Democrats who are breaking quorum and not returning back. But there was a huge ruling that rules that these Democrats will not. So, okay, let me break this down to you.
You know what?
For those who don't know,
This is going to be, I'm going to wait for this for part 2. Like, share, subscribe, hit the like button.